So we're live. Hello, everyone. It's nice having you on the show today. It's still the family life today, the FLT show. And we are going to be looking at the topic, wisdom for singles. I remain Ife Oluwapo Aribisala. I'm a family life coach. And we have a very special guest on the show this evening. I'm so excited. In person of Ebun Fawole. Ebun Fawole is a professional guidance counselor with a PhD in view. She's a family life therapist who uses the tools of neuro-linguistic programming, psychotrauma healing, and family system engineering for therapy and repatterning. She is a mastermind behind Push Through Consults, a platform that helps people see beyond their limiting beliefs and embrace possibilities. Under the consults are the Balanced Woman Initiative and the Child Safety Advocacy. The Balanced Woman Initiative is about value adding, inspiring, and empowering fellow women to take charge of their world. Ebun has also been involved in child safety advocacy, where she helps to educate children handlers on child screening and counseling and offers therapy to confused and abused children. This initiative has embarked on school tours, speaking on child sexual education, and has been a support system for a number of survivors. Ebun worked as a volunteer on the counseling team of Talk Niger to assist people and to pull through their emotional and mental imbalance during the COVID-19 pandemic and Lekki massacre. Ebun worked as a volunteer on the counseling team of Talk Niger to assist people to pull through their emotional and mental imbalance during the COVID-19 pandemic and Lekki massacre. She's a volunteer counselor on the Journey to Wholeness counseling team of L-Cubed International. She served as the head of operations at the Center for Sex Education and Family Life, where she put order into how the system works, managed the counseling team, counseling clients, and engage in therapy section when necessary. Ebun is a partner with the Oxygenator Coaching. Ebun believes that every human being is created to fulfill purpose in life, without which our joy is at stake. So you see that we are so blessed to have her on the show on this month's edition of the FLT. So join me to welcome Ebun Fawole. You're welcome. We give you the special FLT show. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we are going to go straight to our topic today, which is wisdom for singles. Wisdom for singles. So can you just kindly help us define what single means? Is it just a state of not being married, or is there more to being single? Let's start from there.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ife. Thank you for having me. And good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, wherever you're watching from. It's going to be an interesting ride this evening. Ife, well done for all you do. Thank you for the work of awareness. The truth of the matter is we need more of these things. Enough of ignorance. It is time to start getting the knowledge and also applying the knowledge. Yeah, so you ask what is single. You already said it. Single is just being whole, a whole one. It's that simple. Just being whole.
Wow.
So when you are whole in yourself, you can allow any other person. So singleness does not mean you are alone. It does not mean you are lonely. It does not mean you don't have somebody to marry you. No. It is not being out of marriage, because even in marriage, your singleness has its own effect. You will use the ingredients from your single age in your marriage. And so
Wow.
I talk about, so instead of saying single is just being the whole. So the state of being single, that's singleness. So that state is a state of discovering your unique self, discovering your core, your inner core, and being able to live with it, being able to live by it. And that was why I said it's a period of wholeness for
Wow.
every individual.
Wow.
So when
Wow.
you understand your singleness, you will be able to stand anywhere, even in marriage.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Thank you so much. That's so you know, because there's a lot of, well, by the time you get to a certain age, you still get to that. There's a lot of stigma attached to singleness. So singleness is actually being whole. You know, not a state of despair, not a state of you know, that one should be in fear or, you know, be under unnecessary pressure. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a definition that singles need to embrace and hold on to, you know, and focus
You
on
know,
their wholeness at that particular point.
yeah. So if you said something that is very profound, how that is the belief we used to have. A lot of error has been sold to us, a lot of error, and we need to start asking questions and researching yourself. Look for the meaning. For example, single in the dictionary is just one, just you, a whole one. Right. So
Wow,
we need
wow,
to
wow,
understand that.
wow. Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow. So from that point, you know, being single is a state you need to go back and heal all the things that needs to be healed. Do you understand? To get yourself to that place of wholeness. This is awesome. This is awesome. Thank you very much. This is a whole new perspective. Thank you so much. Okay, so for some singles, there's always the illusion of now that uh okay, before we go to that, how can they be in their choice of a life partner? What should they look out for? Should it just be about tall, handsome, you know, six packs, being sexy, figure eights and porcelain thingy and all those stuffs, or even, you know, beauty and brain, maybe the tush ones? Should it just be about that, or what should they be on the lookout for? Yeah, when trying to
And
get a spouse.
again, the error. So I explained that singleness is that state of being whole. So if I want to look for a spouse as a single person, you should also look for somebody that is whole,
Mm,
right?
wow.
You should also look out
Wow.
for somebody
Yeah.
that is whole. Don't just
Yeah.
allow unnecessary pressure take you to do something that you will regret. You are whole.
Mm,
You are in a perfect state. Not perfect like you don't have a fault, but that you have been
yeah.
able to identify your flaws. You have been able to identify your strength, and you have been able to identify your shame, and you own it. You know, you have grown to that point. So if you want to look out for somebody to marry, you should also look out for somebody like that, not somebody that is
Wow.
hurting, not somebody
Wow.
that is coming with pain.
Oh,
Because, you know, when
wow.
we talk about marriage, we say marriage is the coming together of a man and a woman. We define it in family system engineering as coming together of a man and a woman from two different nations. They are coming together to form a new nation,
Nation.
right? And that nation is going to influence the society positively. So the two of them are coming from two different nations. And if
Wow.
care is not taken, the nation they are coming from indoctrinates them.
Mm,
In fact, the nation you are coming from had already damaged you. And
Mm.
so you are trying to be whole, and you have discovered yourself. You are whole. You have found yourself. You have healed from the pain from your past, the pain of childhood, the pain from the significant emotional experiences you're going through. Now you want to marry somebody. Is it the size that matters now? What if he's wealthy? You want financial stability, you want good looks, you want him to have a beautiful car. There's a particular picture you have in your mind, tall, six packs and all, and inside is damaged.
Mm.
How do you want to cope with that?
A whole lot of mess.
A whole lot of mess, because he is coming with baggages. You are whole. God will save you. You are the lady. He is the guy. There's no way hurting people will hurt people. Somebody that is
Mm.
not whole will read every meaning. In fact, there are times you will be saying the right thing, and instead of him to subject and submit to what you're saying, the person is reading another meaning, and you'll be like, "I'm speaking English. Don't you get?" So I,
Mm.
I I think we should look beyond the looks. Good look is fine. I'm a visual person, and good look is very important to me, right? But we should look beyond that. I have a lot of good looking guys that are demons
Are broken.
because they're broken. I have a lot of pretty girls, right, that are not too. I have counseled with a client, a lady who her case is she's very pretty. She's very pretty, very industrious. These are the things we look out for, right? She's
Yeah, yeah,
pretty, she's
yeah, yeah.
industrious, she's smart, she's intelligent. But you see, when she is angry, her anger moves from anger to rage.
Wow.
She starts throwing things. She will break her husband's phone. In fact, she damages everything in the house. She told me this herself, right? She told me this
Mm.
herself. And it is just the fact that she's not whole. Something is wrong within. So I think one of the things we need to pay attention to is is the wholeness. Does that person
Mm.
know who he or she is? Very important.
Wow.
Very
Wow.
important in marriage. So we need to look beyond all that. And I'm going to bust your bubble. We need to also look beyond he's born again, he's spiritual. All
Or he's
that,
committed in a religious organization.
all that plays out in the church. It's outside the church, the real self. She's outside the church, the real self comes up. So we need
Hmm.
to courtship time, the singleness time, the time you're courting or you're dating is a time to ask questions. Don't just assume. A lot of singles assume, and you can't enter marriage with assumption. Marriage is the lowest level of knowledge.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we need to be wiser. We need to be wiser. Yeah. Thank you very much,
Wow,
Ife.
wow, wow, wow. Thank you. So a lot of singles, they live in illusion, make believe. They live in this hair of being in love or falling in love. And by the way, what's the difference between falling in love and being in love?
Falling in love and being in love. So, human being is a state. That is where you constantly live. That is where you are constantly. Not even the erotic one alone. That is your constant reality, being in love. And that is
That's
what God
living
created
in
us
love.
to be. That is what God created us. That is that state that God wants us to be consistently. If you fall, if you fall in something, you will just break your leg now. If you fall, especially in a society where love has been misinterpreted to us. While we were growing up, a lot of things structured, a lot of things defined love to us that were very wrong. All the Celine Dion music, all the Mills and Bones that we read, all
Romantic
the
novels.
movies, they covered us, they covered our faces. We could not even understand what love really is. So we were, I don't want to say deceived, but that was what it
Illusion.
is. We were just living in it. And so we just expected that by the time we entered marriage, oh, everything would just be, oh, unbreak my heart, say you
Ever
love me
after.
again. It's beyond that. You don't fall in love. You live in love. And when you live in love, you are in love, and you're able to see things that you're not that are hidden, because at that point you're using your brain. You're sensitive. You're not carried away. You're not
Mm,
blindfolded. You're not blinded.
mm,
So being in love is the state that we are supposed to be, not even in relationship alone, even at our workplaces,
mm.
right? Being in love is a
Is
state
it?
that we should be. When you fall in love, if you jump up, you will fall down. But if you grow up, you stay there. Yeah,
Wow.
so
Wow.
it's a being,
Wow.
it's a state
Wow.
of being.
So, so,
Yes.
so, so, so the being in love seems to be a much more conscious state where you are actually aware of what is going on and
Yeah.
what you're doing. And it's a state of intentionality as well, right? That's a good one.
Yes.
That's more. It's empowering than falling. I've been blind and all that. So, singles, please look out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out for your state when you are in a relationship. It's
Mm.
better to be in love than to fall in love and be blind. Because once you get married, your eyes will open. It will clear one time. Okay, since this perception of falling in love is well wrong, kind of, and also the illusion that surrounds falling in love too seems to be something not so empowering. So how should okay the illusion of happily ever after, rather, in marriage that singles have because of all the things that the media and all that pushes out. So how should singles view marriage, at least? How should they view marriage? How should they view marriage, that would empower them and prepare them?
Funny thing is, singles, like I said, we go into marriage with a lot of assumption. So they don't even have a view. What they have is the view of the wedding day, all the paparazzi, right? And so it is the paparazzi that is beclouding singles, and it's not making them put in the work they're supposed to put into it before the journey of marriage starts. The truth of the matter is, marriage can be very beautiful, marriage can be sweet. We have people that are enjoying their marriage.
Sure, sure.
That's marriage is rosy for, but they did the work. They put in the work.
Mm,
Now we don't want to put in the work. We just want it to happen. It's not magic. It's a journey. Marriage comes in different phases, and you need to understand it. The courtship stage, we are preparing for marriage states where everything is interesting. You have your hiccups though, but because of the picture of my wedding day, you choose to continue and everything. The honeymoon phase is another stage. By the time you are in honeymoon, everything is sweet. You see,
mhm.
By the time 1 year, so everything is still rosy. In fact, some people don't even have up to that now, before the reality dawn.
Mm.
And the truth is, reality dawn for everybody. So if you are looking forward to an happily ever after, like the Cinderella stories, if you are looking forward to it, you need to put in the work. Marriage is a journey. It's not what you enter into and everything will just start falling in place. No, you put in the work. Because by the time you are growing as an individual, the other person is also growing. We just said you should be whole. And
Yeah.
for wholeness, you are growing, you your chronological age, you're growing, physically you're growing, in your environment, you're seeing different things, and your belief is shifting, your value is shifting. A lot of things are moving in you. This influence the way you see life. And so there's that change. And so that is where that wholeness now comes to play. Because when you see that, this person that I married, this was the way he used to behave, this is the way he's behaving now. What could be the reason? A lot of people don't ask questions, they don't even want to troubleshoot, and they just react. When you start seeing changes in your spouse, it's a time to say, guy, what's happening? Babe, what's happening? This is not you. What happened? If he's able to explain, fine. If he's not able to explain, go into yourself and start studying, start looking for, okay, he's behaving this way. I'm not going to allow that affect me. And so you maintain your own wholeness instead of allowing his change to damage you. So you maintain your own wholeness. By the time you maintain your own wholeness, when he comes round, he will meet you as whole. But he's going through a phase that is confusing him, that is not comfortable, that is, and you are also reacting. For example, by the time you get married, the wife becomes pregnant, there's a change in everything. The woman's hormonal imbalance sets in, and there's problem. She becomes cranky. Did you marry a queen, a princess, beautiful looking? Pregnancy will change the appearance. Unconsciously, the guy responds and reacts. These are the little things that truncates the happily ever after. Because by the time you are reacting, instead of responding to things that are happening, you are hurting yourself, you are damaging one another. Of course, from the place of not being whole, right? And so all those things accumulate.
Mm.
All these things accumulate, and that happily ever after is being truncated. But if you are whole from the beginning, you're able to say, okay, this is just a phase. We're just going through this phase and we will come out of it. The two of you sit down to talk about it, because the two of you are whole. You're able to see those faults, you're able to see those lapses, you're able to see that something is wrong with my husband, something is wrong with my wife. Let's talk about it. As two whole people, two wholesome people, you're able to sit and discuss. But if you're not whole, you repel, you react. And that is where the problem starts. And of course, because you were assuming before, you assume every other thing.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Another phase is, by the time you give birth, attention is divided. Expenses in the house becomes high. The man is thinking. There are a lot of unrealistic expectations, unrealistic pressures we put on men. And as woman, you just want him to also meet you. You want him to be that lovey-dovey. And this guy is processing a lot of things. He's thinking of how to pay the bills. He's thinking of how to make the house run. So this period, the guy reacts. There's some things that come. All these things are the ones that accumulate and steals the joy, the bliss, the peace in marriages. But if the two of you are old, you know who you are, you're able to put it together and you're able to achieve the happily ever after. The happily ever after starts from day one, and it's an accumulated thing. I keep saying it's a journey. It's
Work
a
in
journey.
progress.
It's a work in progress. You know, even when the good book says, "He that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtaineth favor," it is not when you get married that is obtaining the favor. No, it's an accumulation of the goodness, and gives the peace of mind, helps you to reason, you think together, you deliberate together. That is the goodness. And eventually you have beautiful life. That is the favor. And people look at you and be like, "Oh, see their family. Oh, beautiful family." That is where favor is. It's not when you marry. They say, "He that findeth a wife findeth a good." You are not a good thing. Wait now, bro. Right? Sis, wait. Don't rub it on him. That if you are treating me this way, you know that I am the access to your favor. You still also need to put in the goodness.
It's both ways.
It's a journey. So if you want the happily ever after, you need to be prepared to work it out. You need to be prepared to put in all it takes
Work.
to make it work. It is not magic. That's what singles don't know. It is not magic. You will put in the work. You are two people from two different nations. You have been indoctrinated by the beliefs and values from your country.
And you need to shake it off.
So, what are those things you don't like about your family? Start thinking about it before you go into marriage. Oh, we do this kind of thing. Write them out. In my family, my daddy is the lion of the tribe of Judah. My mommy kneels down to feed my daddy. If you marry a guy from that family, I'm sure you know that we expect that kind of thing. So you need to have all this conversation and be ready to make it work. Then you will enjoy the happily ever after. Yeah, I hope I've been able to respond to that question, Ife.
Explicitly. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So, singles, focus on your wholeness. Focus on your wholeness. It's very, very key. It's only when you're whole that you're able to maintain it in marriage. And then you will not react. You will only be able to act. You'll be proactive in marriage as against reacting to. So, you kept emphasizing on work, work, work. What is, can you break it down? You were getting into it a bit now, like, okay, if you marry a man where the mom is expected to kneel down for the dad, so you expect the same from the guy. So what can you expatiate more on this work that needs to be done as singles, the work singles need to do, how to work at wholeness as well? Can you just help us break it down a bit? Yeah.
Okay, so when I say work at it, you need to put in everything that it requires to get the results. And when I mean work, who are you becoming in the process? Who are you becoming? You are somebody before you got married. For example, you can't expect by the time you have your first child, you can't expect yourself to be sleeping from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. like you used to sleep. Your child will wake up in the middle of the night. You will wake up, by the time the child is growing, you need to have gotten to a level of maturity to raise the new life, to raise the human being, the new human that God has added to you. That's part of the work. So, who are you becoming?
And so getting to that state to be able to raise a child to still has to do with wholeness.
Yeah.
Because a parent that is hurting will hurt the child as well, not only the
That's
spouse.
that's why we have a lot of abusive people out there. We have a lot of abusive people out there because they were not raised well. And It's just funny how that we keep talking about parenting and people are still not seeing it. If you were beaten as a child, your parent did not listen to what you have to say, you were domesticated, that was not discipline. A lot of all those things added to who we have become in the sense of low self-esteem. All those things affected us, and that is why you need to heal. Find yourself before you find yourself. Behold, before you start adding another person into the journey, you have not even discovered yourself enough. You want to go and join yourself with another person, and ambiguity comes in. You are trying to study yourself, you are trying to understand the other person. Because by the time you get married, it is not that guy that used to open the door for you that you will meet when you get home.
That's the
It's like,
reality.
let me use the first word, illusion. Illusion. And it's not as if the guy doesn't want to do it, but a lot of things are
Something
battling with
too.
his own, a lot of things are battling with his own attention too. So when before you got married, he opens the door and all. By the time you get married, you're expecting him to still be open, and he's not opening it. Open the door, auntie. Don't wait for him. And don't read any meaning to it. That is where the wholeness lies. You see, when singleness is not desified, when you don't understand singleness, you will take aloneness for loneliness. Aloneness is different from loneliness.
From loneliness.
A lot of people, because they did not get it right as a single, by the time they entered marriage, they are not able to be on their own. That is why some people, some women, their husband is not around, they are calling, Bolowa, where are you? When are you coming? Auntie, can you find happiness in yourself?
Enjoy
Can
yourself.
you not, can you? So it all boils down back to how you lived your singleness. So that's why I'm telling all the singles that are watching this. Enjoy yourself, find yourself, be comfortable in your own presence, your own company. Enjoy your own company. I'm sorry to also use this example. That is the reason why some people, when they lose their spouses, it's as if their life crashed because they can't move on. They are so attached. Some people don't get out of it. 20 years after their husband is dead, they are still blaming what is happening to them on because my husband died. But if you are able to live well, if I'm going to be raw, I tell for people I counsel, do premarital counseling with, I tell them, see, you need to be able to live without this person when he's not around. You need to be able to enjoy yourself, take yourself out. That's where self-love comes in. Even though self-love is being misunderstood, self-love does not mean selfishness. It is to say, my dear, I want to go to the movies, but I want to go alone. Not because I'm going to do anything bad, but I just want to have the me time. That's somebody that is whole. You need the breath of fresh air around yourself. Yeah. So all those things. So when you see somebody, by the time the two whole people are coming together, they have understood one another. So it is easier for them. And so when you see that something is happening that you don't really, you sit down to talk about it. That is the work we're talking about now. To sit down to have conversation, discussion, making the right decision, disagreeing to agree. These are the work. Trying to understand. You're having a conversation not to prove your point or to prove your right, but to do the right thing. What is right, not what I have to say must stand. No. Having a conversation to arrive at doing the right and making the right decision, not proving right. All those things are the work you need to put into it. You know how it is if when you have an opinion and you share it with your husband, and it was like, no, if we can't do that. So instead of saying, why can't we do that? Just say, oh, really? Can you explain? What do you mean? Maybe if you throw more light
Maybe
to
I'm not
it.
getting it well.
You know, at that point, the society, we call it your mumu, must you always bend? But no, you're trying to ensure that you're doing the right thing, not trying to prove a point. So the work there is coming to say, okay, please take me through it. Run me through this thing you're talking about. I really need to understand it. You know that you have swallowed a lot of guts at that point, especially if you know that this guy, what he's saying is wrong. These are the kind of work we're talking about. A lot of errors out there, and we need to be careful the things we read on social media. We need to be very careful. They say live to cleave. We can see now marriages are just breaking anyhow, but the truth is because these people are not ready. Any little thing you are this person is human.
It's not perfect.
Human.
No perfect human anywhere.
You just need to sit down and talk about it. That is where the work is. But because he did something, no, I'm going to divorce you. No, that is not life. As long as battering, physical abuse is not involved, talk about everything. That is the work that you need to put into it. You disagree to agree. You're not proving points. You're just trying to ensure that you're doing the right thing for your marriage. That is the work I'm talking about.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, what's the process or like the requirement to being whole? I think we made mention earlier of, baggages and all that. What does it have to do with being whole? How can you get rid of them? How can you
Being
identify
whole,
them? How can you get rid of those baggages or reduce them or, just keep working on them
okay.
as work in progress? Okay.
Being whole is knowing who you are. Who are you? Why are you here? Right? Who are you? Why are you here? What is your plan? What is your vision? When you have all this highlighted, in knowing who you are, it's not just saying, my name is Ebu, I am this. In knowing who you are, you have gone to the point of what makes me happy, what makes me sad, what are my triggers, where did I grow up from, what are the things I want to drop, what is my belief, what are my belief system, what are my value system. You see that it's a lot.
It's a lot,
It's
yeah.
a lot. And in the journey of discovery, you discover that you have some pain points, you have some things that are triggers to you. Like we said, a lot of us are growing up, we were battered. And so there will be the point where you need to go through coaching, counseling, and therapy. That is where it is. That's where the wholeness now comes in. And it's also a journey, step by step, precept upon precept. You put in this little work, you do this, you do that. The therapy is very important. Some people were emotionally abused, verbally abused growing up. Some people were battered growing up. All those things add up and they play out. And that is where we say pressure is a revealer. Pressure brings all these things out. That's why a little trigger like this, the person just flare up because the pressure has built up. So to be whole, you need to heal. You need to heal. There's a need for healing from past hurts. There's nobody in this Nigeria. I don't know where others are joining us from, but if you're a Nigerian, we wake up every day to be traumatized. We wake up every day. Our government is traumatizing us. Our environment is traumatizing, and so and so we have a lot of pent up anger. So there's a need for healing. Discover yourself. Go for therapy. It is in this part of the world that I see that therapy is being labeled as something that is not good. We all need it.
Mm.
Therapy is very important. It will help you see those things that are in your blind spots.
Mm.
It will help you see those things that are stored in your unconscious mind that plays out a lot of times. At times
Mm.
where we have clients and we are able to take them back to what happened to them as a child, and we're able to unfold it and they see where the problem starts from. It can be anything: emotional, sexual, any form of abuse from childhood. In fact, a lot of parents do things ignorantly and they do not know that they are damaging their children.
Mm.
So all those things are the ones that is affecting our wholeness, that is making us have unrealistic expectation, that is making us behave in the way we behave, because they are the ones that stays in our focus. They are the ones we focus on, and our thoughts is clouded with what we are focusing on, and it affects, and we see it in our behavior. For example, you're coming you're coming from a kind of you're coming from a nation where the system of government they run there is different. If you desire a home where a family need to live, sorry about that, you need to live where you're coming from to learn the new system the of the home you're going into, or the kind of place you desire.
Yeah.
You need to learn it. Yes, you need to learn it. You need to swallow
I'm
your own.
intentional.
Be intentional about
Right.
it. That's the word, intentionality.
Mm.
Everything will be working against you, but be intentional about it. The good book that I read said the man will leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. The wife too is leaving his father and mother and want to cleave to the
Living.
husband.
Mhm.
Live and cleave.
Both ways.
Then you want to build your own home. So in living, you are living the culture. You are living the belief system. You are living the values. Because if you bring them in, they are going to affect your
Cause
wholeness.
issues. Yeah.
Even you know that there are some things you don't like about your parents. There are some things you don't like about your mommy. There are some things you don't like about your daddy. So you need to be intentional about saying that, oh, this thing, I don't want it. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where these are the things that add up to define what the wholeness truly is in marriage. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. There's a whole lot that's been said here. Singles, please take notes and make good use of this, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So
Welcome.
we are okay. Uh when is the right time to get married? Is it by age? Once people start getting to a certain age, the whole community starts counting. Start getting worried, or even getting embarrassed for you that you are not married is a big issue. Is getting married, is it kind of is it an age thing? Does it have to do with age? That's one.
Mm,
Then on the other side, how do you handle this pressure? Because
mm.
a lot of people is family that pressure them into wrong marriages. So how can singles handle this pressure that comes from friends, from families, even neighbors, people that is not their business in any way? They start stigmatizing you and all that. So please
Even
help us
even
address.
from even from the church.
The church, yeah, the church doesn't help Makatu at all.
So I also understand the reason why these people put pressure. And see, there's a selfish thing attached to it. There's a back end reason for all these things. Your friends want to take Ashwebi. Your parents want grandchildren. It's not because they love you. It's not because they love you.
You live in the marriage alone. They won't live there with you.
They will not. It's not because they love you. You know, your parents want grandchildren. They want you to leave their house. Your friends want to pick Ashwebi. Your neighbors want to compare you with their own children or their own siblings and all. And this is so if you look at the reason why people pressurize, you just be like, can you just leave me? Can you
Because
just
it's
allow
selfish.
me?
Selfish.
It's selfish. There's always a selfish reason. It's not anything. I have worked with clients that they just pressurize them to go into marriage. And the lady was telling me that, see, by the time on our first day when we left honeymoon and my first night in my husband's house, I entered the toilet. I almost threw up because they courted for 7 months. The pressure was too much, and the pastor was vouching to say that this guy is a good guy. I can vouch for, just marry this guy. And by the time she said, for the place I was coming from, I entered the toilet and the toilet was a mess. Is it that he didn't know that he's going to bring a bride to the house? Why is it? And the reality, done. They were not able to
Wow.
talk about a lot of things. And she said, because my father figure, her father was late. So the father figure told her, if you're not marrying this person, I refuse to be your father. The pressure was just much. So, can you see the place when I kept saying wholeness, self-awareness? If you are whole in yourself, you're able to put your foot down to say,
And stand your
see,
ground. I'm not getting.
I'm the one
Everybody
that
can do whatever they like.
Can you allow me? Because it is only their opinion. It is your own life. It is your own life you want to mortgage because of some pressure from people that it's not as if they loved you. People that have selfish interests. There's no particular age. Of course, biology will say that by the time you're getting to a certain age, you will not be able to give birth easily, the complications and all. And in responding to that, I say that there's some knowledge, there's some knowledge we need to start impacting into our children right from the young age. For example, this issue of knowing who you are. By the time a child gets to understand, I'm sure, because I don't know, for those that have not gotten married and they are, I mean, mature singles, I wouldn't know what happened over the time. But you see, part of the things from our counseling room, part of the things we discover is that um, some people are not able to break away from their past pain. And so they are in relationship and they are displaying some of those things. And the person they're in relationship with just felt, no, it can't work. And so they have breakup like that. And so it seems as if they stay stuck. Some people don't even understand, they don't have relational skill. They don't know how to relate with people. And so when we have some of those skills inculcated into our school curriculum, right from primary, secondary school, and children are taught all these things, understanding beliefs, that belief system, understanding values, being able to stand on your own. By the time we start inculcating all this into our curriculum, understanding how the mind works, understanding the power of the mind, by the time you're able to put all those things into practice, your life will take a beautiful shape,
Hmm.
right? And that will help
Yeah,
you
sure.
decide, that will help you make right decisions on the journey of your life. And so,
Hmm.
talking about the age, of course, you'll be able to solve some of those problems. You'll be able to know. And when we say age of giving birth and all, you don't have to mother a child. You don't have to be the one to carry. Of course, we know that science and is also improving and all. There are different ways to mother or father a child now. And it is also part of growth. It's a growth mindset that thinks in that direction.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So please don't let us box ourselves up to say that hey, I'm 25 already. My friends are getting married. Hey, I'm 30. Hey, this. You see,
Hmm.
don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself if you are not ready.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
In fact,
Wow.
if you are ready and you're speaking the right words into the universe make things happen for you. The
Hmm.
universe makes things happen for you. So what are the
Hmm.
things, singles that are not married, what are the things you're not getting right that you need to start getting right? And that is where you need to go for counseling. Go for counseling. Go for coaching.
Before even finding somebody, get a grip of yourself, kind of. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you.
You're
So, how
welcome,
can
Ife.
singles spot red flags in their relationships?
And
Because
you know
most of
what
the
you
people
don't like now.
married eventually, there's always that red flag, but people just ignore it because of
You
that
just
illusion we
ignore.
talked about earlier.
You just ignore.
How
We
can
see the
singles pay
we
more
see the
attention
red
to that?
flag. You see the red flags, but you just ignore. You just assume that you can make it work. Settle everything. That's why I said courtship period is interview period, not intercourse period. Remove intercourse because by the time you put intercourse, you are beclouded.
It will scatter everything.
You are beclouded. In fact, there are situations where you want to go, but because you have involved yourself in that, it's difficult to break away. I think the
Hmm.
church should start talking about um, sex outside marriage, not as a sin, but for your own sake,
Yeah,
not as a sin, because that is the reason why people want to go
it
into
carries
it.
a lot of burden and guilt on its own for you personally.
So if you see it as it will just becloud you, then you will not be able to see what you're supposed to see. Because the truth of the matter is, we see all those red flags and we just say, oh, we'll work on it. It's not difficult. I've worked with several couples and I asked them, why did you marry? I saw those things, but I just felt there's
Hmm.
nothing we can't work through. I just believe that nothing, because the truth is, you felt there's nothing you can, but you don't know that the root is deeper than what you're talking about. If you
Hmm.
love that person so well, you will need to work through it before you get married. Talk about it, discuss it. And some people are afraid that if I insist that we should solve this problem, he will leave me. If he leaves you, that means the person is not for you.
Hmm.
It just shows that the person is not for you. All the signs. You're going on the road, you are in the car, he insults Okada man. It's a red flag. You're having a conversation, say aborie. It's a red flag. You need to understand that, okay, is this how you'll be? Because that's emotion, that is
To
verbal
continue.
abuse gradually. You need to pay attention to all those things. Very important. Don't don't excuse it. That is why that period, dating period, courtship period, is a time to talk. Don't excuse it. By the time you talk about it, he'll be like, it's like this person will not like it. If he loves you, he'll work on it. You work on it together. And you don't have to insult that person. You don't have to condemn the person. Right? You work on it together. You talk about it. All those red flags. You have not married like this. You will drop the hand when you get married. These are red flags you need to pay attention to. See the way he interacts or relates with his siblings. See the way he talks to them. See the way he talks to his friends. If it is money issue, see the way he spends money. See the way she spends money. Don't excuse it. Talk about everything. It's a time of discussion. Don't excuse anything. Talk about it. You can now meet in the middle, but don't excuse it. Make sure you talk about it. You ensure you emphasize it.
Wow. Thank you.
A lot of us, we have pseudo personality. What we want the person to see and the real person we are. We just hide and pretend. Everybody pretend. You bring out your best shots when you are trying to get that person or you want that person to get you. Like Kiss Daniel, wake up. Collect your money. Wake up. Oh. That's by the way. Pardon my French. Pardon my French.
I hear that. Collect your money complete. So you will be shortchanged. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So what should now be the motivation and driving force for singles other than getting married? You know, is marriage the ultimate? What should be the driving force?
The ultimate.
Yeah, what should be the driving force? What should be the thing that is
who you are? If you know who you are, you know why you are here, your purpose on earth. If you understand your purpose on earth, you will be able to live well in your marriage. Because your purpose is not about you, it's about the people you are able to impact. Your purpose is not about you, it's about the lives you're going to touch. Purpose, very important. Purpose, very, very, that is your essence. That is where your power lies. That is where your strength lies. You can imagine somebody working in a place that is, the person is not enjoying that job. The person is frustrated. Your life is not moving on. That's the same thing. When you are doing the right thing, something you're passionate about, your life moves on. You enjoy it. You do things. In fact, you 2:00 a.m. you're still at the table. You're still working.
And energized.
You're still energized. Because marriage is not all about all the things we are talking about. There's a lot to marriage. There's a lot to marriage. There's a lot to marriage. Yeah. So when you know why you are here, your purpose, your essence, you're able to live a good life. That's where the good life lies. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So marriage is not the ultimate. Discover your purpose, have vision for your life. Discover yourself. All this is very, very important. Because if you don't, if you get into marriage, you still have to face it.
Ife. So when I say know who you are, it's part of it. Because the real you is who you are when we remove Mrs. So and so. When we remove mommy so and so.
Mm.
So who you are, is that you? That is why
Yeah.
a lot of people have problems. They
It's not,
can't
it's
stay
not
alone.
even about the physical beauty.
It is not. That's why a lot of people are
Oh,
having a lot
yeah.
of problems. You want to introduce yourself, say, I'm Mrs. Excuse me, did you come to this world with that title? It's just a title. It's a role. It's just a role you are playing. The role of a wife, the role of a mother. If those roles are taken away from you,
Who are you?
who are
Wow.
you? That is where your essence, that is your core. That is where your essence lies. That is what keeps you alive.
Mm.
That is what keeps you alive. Yeah.
So that's the question we are going to leave you with. Who are you? To all singles, even married people out there, because we have a lot of married people that didn't do this before getting married, still trying to find themselves, still trying to discover themselves. So who are you? Who are you? You need, that's a big homework. That's something you need to work at. That's the start point for wholeness and finding the real you and having, a good life. Yeah. So just before we round up, our time is fast spent. You will have some other singles, on another side now that says marriage is overrated based on negativities they have seen around them, and so they are reluctant to dive in. What advice do you have for singles in this category?
Just
Also
discover
for
yourself. If you discover yourself, you won't have to play your life based on some people's example.
hmm,
You won't, yeah. Yeah, that's what I tell people when they go online and they live their life based on what they see on social media.
wow, wow.
And they are being tossed here and there like a yo-yo.
Hmm,
You don't allow what you see out there determine how you live your life. You see, when I said wholeness, you see it's a lot. The
hmm,
wholeness covers that part too. It covers that part too.
hmm,
You're not competing with anybody. You are competing with the you of yesterday. I'm
hmm,
competing with the Ebon of 5 years ago. I'm competing with Ebon of 2 months ago. I'm competing with Ebon of yesterday. I'm not competing with Ife. Ife has her
hmm,
own life. She's here for something else. I'm here for my own mission.
hmm.
Because somebody did not live well, or because somebody's family break, does not mean your own will break. What are the ingredients you're using to build your life and which you will build your marriage on? What are those ingredients? At this point, I think I would like to talk about the fact that we have these tools that we use to help people discover
Hmm.
themselves on this journey, and that is we call it Oyela. Oyela is an instrument. If you're a Yoruba and you're listening to this, Oyela is an instrument that helps you discover yourself. Oyela is reveal. Oyela reveals who you are to you. It's a psychological assessment, and it's a diagnostic tool that we use. So if you're interested, you can reach out to Ife. Yeah, I can see that there's a marriage refreshers course, and I know that in that class you're going to take the assessment. We also have the user's manual. Just like your phones have the user's manual, your television has a user's manual, your gadget has user's manual. That user's manual will reveal to you who you are and the things you need to know about yourself. So if you're interested in this, you reach out to Ife, take the Oyela, take the user's manual assessment, and let's kickstart from there. That will help
Yeah,
you
that's the beginning of getting to discover yourself.
yourself.
That's
Yeah.
the beginning. Yeah. So feel free. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to our guests too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll be glad. You should
So
be glad you did. You
so
should
you
be
can
glad.
reach out if I think you should also post my number.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Let me type
And
it
let me
from
type it.
here.
Okay. Let me type it. Let me type and drop it. Let me type it. Yeah.
Okay. that people can reach out.
Okay, so you can reach out to her. You can reach out to me
Yes,
as well.
via
Yeah. So
WhatsApp. Yes.
WhatsApp. Yeah. Okay. So that's our WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. You dropped it already?
No, I've not. Let me so that you can.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
I
So
also
I'm not
dropped.
able to. Okay. So I'll do that right away.
Okay. There's also a marriage refresher course. It's free. It's going to be in August. So please register. I dropped the link already. Also, we're having teenagers boot camp as well, and we're going to be focusing a lot on this self-discovery so that these children can get a grip of themselves at an early age to prepare them better for life, and a lot of things they'll have to go through in life eventually. So the links are up there. I also have two of my books. I don't have them on hand now. Dear Bella and Before and After Yes. You can also see the link to purchasing the books on this after the show. It's also going to come up. Thank you very much to our guests. You did a great, it was an awesome conversation. Awesome one. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're able to
You're
make it
welcome.
here today. Thank you for the useful insights and depth of wisdom. We really appreciate it. And I hope that youth will take good use of all these things and maximize it, to have their best life ever. Thank you very much. Wishing us all a beautiful weekend.
So I dropped
Please,
my phone number and
okay.
I
I
in
still
your
haven't
private
seen it.
chat. Private chat.
Oh, okay. Let me quickly see and post it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing that right away. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ife, and well done for you do. Guys, self-awareness
Thank you
is a
much
very
more
important
for
thing.
coming to
Yeah.
be a blessing to us on the show today. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you. We love you. So I just dropped her email address, right? Or is that your
No,
Instagram
that's
handle?
IG.
That's what?
Instagram handle.
Your
That's my
Instagram handle.
Instagram
Okay.
handle.
Okay.
So
So her
you are
contact and
dropping
Instagram
it
handle
on
there.
the private chat. You are dropping it
Oh,
on the private place. Put it in the
okay.
public or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just saw that now. Okay.
Thank you so
Okay, so feel
much.
free. You can reach out to her. You can reach out to me. Feel free. Have a most beautiful weekend. Please share with as many singles as possible, please. As many singles as possible. Let's save as many marriages as can be
Yeah.
saved, please. God bless you.
Very
Thank you all
important.
for coming on the show. I appreciate you so much. Thank you to our guests once again. Bye. Lovely weekend. Love you all.